you have other title companies involved, sellers involved, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of things that come into play during a transaction. So inshallah, we're going to go over our Sharia board first. Just a brief introduction. When we initially started in 2003, we brought on Shape Financial as our Sharia board, and later on, I would say about last year, Shape Financial was a group based in Dubai, so it really didn't have too many ulama that are local here. Last year, we recently added our Sharia board that's local. So we have more ulama that are from the US and more recognizable people. So currently we have Mufti Abdullah Nana. Mufti Abdullah Nana studied in UC Berkeley, and he did his bachelor's in business. So he's very familiar with the economics of the dunya and the way the US system works. And then Mufti Saab also traveled to South Africa, and he did an extensive course in religious studies, and he got his title and ijazah of Mufti from South Africa. So mashallah, he's well versed in the US and Western economics and also Islamic economics and finance. So when we're putting together the Sharia board, we're looking for ulama that can approve us. We look for ulama that are specialized in this field. And obviously, they're able to provide us the proper guidance. So Mufti Nana, mashallah, he's a very respectable figure in this field. We also have Sheikh Taha al-Basir. He's a Muslim chaplain at Harvard University. Sheikh Faraz Rabbani and Sheikh Ashraf Ali Goma from Saudi Arabia. So mashallah, we have multiple ulama from all walks of life, from all different parts of the world, giving us fatwas. In addition to that, we also have many ulama that have reviewed our program and then purchased their home through us. So alhamdulillah, not only that they've just approved us, we've got their commitment by them going actually and purchasing their home. So we have Imam Muhammad Majid, Imam Zayd Shakir, Sheikh Hamza Yusuf. These sheikhs, they actually purchased their homes through us. Here local in Texas, I believe in Dallas, Sheikh Omar Suleiman also purchased his home through us. Imam Tahir Anwar from the Bay Area, he is also approved our programs. So inshallah, to read more about our testimonials from the imams and the ulama, you can go on our website. You will find our fatwa there. You will find the testimonials from the ulama up there as well. So inshallah, I encourage you to visit that and check it out, inshallah. So before we get into it, I want to just ask a simple question to everyone, inshallah. Is lending allowed in Islam? Can I lend someone money? Islamically, yes, I can lend someone money, but I cannot make any money on top of that. Lending in Islam is only done for charitable purposes. Qard Hasan. If I give someone $1,000, I cannot ask them for $1,000 and $100 back. That would be haram. I can only ask them for the $1,000 back. So traditionally in the US, lending is a means of making money. Now, when you want to buy a home, how can you do it if it's going to be a riba-based program? So Islamically, what needs to be done is it needs to be a trade-based transaction. So inshallah, on this slide, what we're going to do is we're going to go through how a traditional bank works, and on the next slide, we're going to go through how an Islamic bank would finance a home. So we can inshallah compare both programs. So if you look on the screen, is this clear? Okay. So if you look on the screen, this is a perfect example of how a traditional bank works. You go to a traditional bank, you open a savings account, and they pay you interest. So they're basically buying money from you. You put your money in there, then they lend the money to borrowers and collect more interest on it. For example, you go and open a saving account, they pay you 0.5% interest, and then someone comes to buy a car or a house, and they give them 4 or 5% interest, and the difference is their profit, which obviously is haram. Now, this is how Islamic financing should work. An Islamic financing company needs to go and buy an asset, an item of value, okay? And once they own that item of value, then they can sell that to make a profit. They can sell it to a consumer, and the profit they make would be halal. So if I buy something, let's say for example this laptop, I buy this for $1,000, and I sell it to, brother, what's your name? Brother Akhtar. Brother Akhtar, I sell it to Brother Akhtar for $1,500. Now, if Brother Akhtar pays me $100 a month for the next 15 months, this is halal. But if I go to Brother Akhtar and say, Brother Akhtar, here's your $1,000. After 15 months, give me $1,500 back. That would not be permissible. So you need to have a tangible asset involved, and it needs to be structured as a business transaction. Now there's 3 models of Islamic financing that are being used. Currently, our company is offering the first 2, and inshallah we're going to touch base on each one and how it works, and then we'll get into details as we go along. So the number one is murabaha. Murabaha is an installment sales contract. It's very similar, just like I was mentioning earlier. It's when I go out and I buy an asset. For example, I went and buy this laptop for $1,000, and I sold it to Brother Akhtar for $1,500. Brother Akhtar pays $100 a month for 15 months, and it's done. This is an example of murabaha. Now, the next program is called ijara. Ijara is a lease-to-own program. Lease-to-own program is very simple. When you want to buy a car, for example, you go to the dealer. There's 3 options, usually. Either you can buy the car in cash, either you can finance the car, or you can lease the car. Now, the ijara program works very similar to a car lease. You would establish a lease-to-own agreement with us. So we would go and purchase the property. We own the property, and you have a lease-to-own agreement with us, and you would pay us our monthly rent. And at the end of the term, you have an option to purchase the property. So this is how an ijara program works. Musharaka is a co-ownership program where 2 parties, such as a bank and an individual, get together and they jointly purchase a property. One party utilizes the property, therefore pays the other party a rent, and they also buy them out on a monthly basis. At UIF, we don't offer the Musharaka program, so I won't get into too much detail on how it works. Inshallah, we're going to touch more on the murabaha and the ijara. This is another example of how murabaha works. Just skip this slide. So, very simply, just like we mentioned the laptop example, Ahmed finds a house for $100,000. UIF goes in, buys the house for $100,000, and then UIF sells the house to Ahmed for $120,000, and Ahmed makes $1,000 payment a month for the next 120 months. This is a very simple example of how murabaha program works. Now, inshallah, if you don't mind, we will take the questions at the end. That way everyone can benefit and we don't miss anything in the presentation. Jazakallah khair. That's exactly what I was coming to. We have a couple of questions that we get a lot. So inshallah, I want to address the most common asked questions, and then we can open up the floor so we can discuss the questions even further as needed, inshallah. I'm going to put these all up here. First question everyone asks. Okay, it makes sense, but my chacha or my uncle, they say that Islamic financing is more expensive. So what is your answer? Everyone asks this question. And my answer to that is very simple. Yes, it used to be. 25 years ago in the United States, Islamic financing was more expensive. It was if you wanted to go the Islamic route, it was more expensive to go there than go to the bank. Now, alhamdulillah, because we have much more organization, we have better investors, we have a whole setup, now we're able to be very competitive. And inshallah, I encourage you, if you're in the market and you're looking to purchase a home, call us and find out. And you'll see when you compare your monthly payments, we are not more expensive. And alhamdulillah, it has taken a long time, but we've gotten to this point. Now, a lot of people say, okay, can I prepay my contract? That's another question that we get. You buy the property for $100,000, you sell it to Ahmed for 120. Now, can I prepay the contract if Ahmed doesn't want to live there 10 years? Ahmed wants to pay off the property in 5 years, or he wants to sell the property in 5 years. Is this allowed? And the answer is yes, we do allow the prepayment. In our contract, we have a clause, it's called the early payoff incentive clause. So if you choose to pay off early, we do give you the incentive to do so, and we will prorate the amount of profit accordingly to give you that incentive to pay off early. And there is no prepayment penalties. A lot of people ask that. Is there any prepayment penalties? No, there isn't. Now, around this time in the presentation, a lot of people say, okay, it makes sense, we like it. Now, I heard it's very hard to qualify. And my answer to that is, it actually is not very hard to qualify. We look for 3 things when we're qualifying someone to purchase a home. Number 1, we look for their income. It's very important that your monthly income, you're able to support the monthly payment. Because, 10 years ago, about in 2008, 7, everyone saw the economy and the mortgage meltdown, everything happened. And the reason these things happen in the US economy, number 1, obviously, because they were not using, if the economy was using Islamic principles, this would never happen. The second option is they were qualifying people without checking the income. So it's very important that we need to verify the income. Number 2, we do run your credit. As long as your credit is decent, inshallah, we should be able to work with you and we should not have any issues. If there's something wrong on the credit, you can always talk to us and maybe we can guide you and see, and then you can come back later on down the road and inshallah we can put you into a home. The third thing is we look for a down payment. Minimum down payment is 5% down. Alhamdulillah, we just launched a new program which you can buy the home with even 3% down. So we have multiple programs available. Inshallah, give us a call and we can walk you through that. A very important question, people ask, what happens if we default? It's a very, very common question, and obviously it's important to address. Now, what we do is we like to work with our customers. And as long as you're in a true hardship, God forbid you lose your job, something like this happens, we work with our customers for up to 1 year. And in that time, you're able to either sell your home or either find a job or whatever is going on. Worst case scenario, if you're not able to sell the home in the open market, we will have to take the home and sell it. If there's any profit made, that is your profit, then you will, as long as you're in the hardship, you will receive your profit. So we do, if you default, we do work with you. And inshallah, if anyone has more questions related to this, when we open up the floor, we can address it. Lastly, source of funds. A lot of people say, where do you get your money? Where do you get your money? And I was talking to 1 or 2 sheikhs, and they said that as long as the transaction is done halal, it doesn't matter where you get your money. But what we've done is, even though that is acceptable, we have our Sharia compliant deposit accounts, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the presentation, and those are based on a mudaraba model, which is a profit sharing model. And we use those funds to fund our transactions. So we have about $30 million, and we fund our transactions through that source. And once the transaction is closed, we have investors that are involved to help us replenish our funds so we can keep it going. Therefore, we keep a cycle going and we're able to continue the transactions. Now, just want to touch on what are the benefits of going through an Islamic financing program versus a traditional bank. In Islamic financing, we have a late payment fee. $50 is fixed. And the reason we have this fee is if we don't have the fee, no one will pay the payment on time, obviously. It happens a lot. So what the ulama have said is you can collect the fee, but you donate it to charity. So we do not benefit we don't have any monetary benefit from this $50 fee, but we do collect it so people make their payments on time, and then we donate all these fees to charity. To be very frank, our community, alhamdulillah, we barely receive any late payment. Everyone, alhamdulillah, is on time. Traditional banks will charge you a percentage. If you're already late, they'll take advantage of that and they charge you 10%, 12% on top of your amount. Another thing is that all Islamic financing programs are asset-backed. There's no leverage. You know, in 2006, 7, 8, banks were creating money out of thin air. They have $1 in their account, they're lending $4. And that's how this whole system collapsed in 2009, 8. So we keep the economy better because we're using an asset-backed program. Another thing is that we try our best to do a community give-back program. Now, alhamdulillah, we're inshallah, you'll be seeing us more here in the Houston area. What we like to do is, if the masjid has an event or the community has an event, we try to sponsor the events. We try to go back. And basically what it is if the Muslim community supports a Muslim organization, then we're able to support the community and come back. And currently we're offering the home financing and the masajid financing. Inshallah, with your support, we'll be able to launch car financing. We'll be able to provide checking accounts and all these programs that we can give to the Muslim community. Because to be honest, my parents came here to this country 30 years ago. Many of us either have came here or their parents have came here. We're not going back. Everyone can agree to that. We're here in America and we're here, so we should adopt and make an Islamic system where we can do financial transactions Islamically, and we can live in America and be prosperous, own a home, own a car through Islamic financing, so we're not left behind. A lot of people I've met, unfortunately, some brothers, they didn't know about these programs, and they've been renting for 20, 30 years. And now their kids are older, and their kids are